So what the hell are we doing getting on our high horse, acting as if this dude did something that is absolutely despicable, leaving those kids in the dirt, not caring about student athletes, spitting on a pro. What are you talking about? He just delivered 6 of the best years any of those Ole Miss football fans are going to witness. He just delivered the Ole Miss Rebels to the CFP playoffs. He did something that not only Ed Ogeron used to coach Ole Miss. In his 3 years there, I don't even think he got a winning season. And, of course, he goes on to win a national title at LSU. You think Lane Kiffin ain't looking at that and saying, well, damn, if Eddie O could barely get to a bowl game at Ole Miss and I'm able to get to the playoff, imagine the things I can do with the resources out there in Baton Rouge. And Lane Kiffin, the Lane train, is on the move. C-Cat, how you feeling, man? Are you angry at Lane Kiffin?
No, I'm not angry at Lane Kiffin.
Wow.
I'm angry at, like, everyone involved in talking about the Lane Kiffin situation. That's who I'm angry about. We are a society of soft, ivory tower standing people. Like, we treat sports unlike any other profession, and sometimes that's a great thing, and sometimes it's a hypocritical, ugly thing.
I don't understand, and again, I know it's probably not great radio etiquette to call a portion of your fan base morons. I just cannot bring myself to the place to be able to understand why, if you are not a person who wakes up early on Saturdays to gear up to yell hotty toddy, if you are not within the confines of Oxford, Mississippi, how do you not understand why Lane Kiffin is now the head coach of LSU today? Like, how do you not understand how he came to the decision of taking the major bag, which we're going to get to, by the way, because I don't know if you've heard the extension, or excuse me, the contract that LSU dished out for Lane Kiffin. But remember when that governor was talking all big in his britches and acting like college football coaches, it ain't getting paid like Brian Kelly no more. It ain't going down like that no more, not in the boot. Yeah, we're going to talk about what that contract actually is, because I'll give you a hint.
Hide the money, y'all. There's poor people around. With your broke ass.
Yeah, he's rich. Lane Kiffin is going to be made a rich man by LSU, and they're paying his buyout from Ole Miss as well. So that was a whole lot of hoopla for nothing out of the governor, which I said in the first place should not be putting his hands, his mouthpiece, or his body in any kind of way into sports. Stick to gubernatorial actions. Is that how you would do it? Like, stick to sports. What's the transverse of that?
Stick to books.
Stick to books.
And writing laws. Or,
yeah.
They don't
Bills.
do that. No, yeah.
Well, governors.
Signing your name.
Yeah.
They sign their name a lot, I assume.
Yes, stick to that. Stick to signing your names.
And taking flights.
Yes.
And taking pictures while you shake hands with other people. That's what I imagine. I think we wrapped up 75% of the job of a governor.
Yeah, I was about to say, governors probably get they probably get more credit than they actually deserve for what they're actually doing. It's harder to become a governor than it is to be the governor.
Undoubtedly.
Yeah. So I think we can, from our POV, I think that's safe to say, and nobody's going to argue with that unless you're a governor. And if you are, please tap in, 888-760-3776. So, yes, the Louisiana governor was completely full of crap there. Lane Kiffin getting paid a major bag. But I am just so confused, C-Cat. Of course, he just guided Ole Miss to the greatest regular season in program history, 11-1. They are likely going to be in the 12-team playoff despite not being in the SEC championship game. They deserve it based on what they did this season, and Lane Kiffin will not be there to coach them. You know what sucks the most out of this whole scenario? As we're going to watch him go to Baton Rouge, you're going to see this Ole Miss football program try and go on without their head coach. I believe the interim is going to be the defensive coordinator for Ole Miss. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it does not matter. DC.
It's the DC for Ole Miss is going to take over. What sucks in all of this is having to watch Lane Kiffin, number one, take a bunch of undeserved hate, and then number two, he's having to coat his excitement for landing a dream job in the sport of college football. He's having to act like he doesn't understand why it is he made the decision to go from Ole Miss to LSU. I'm getting sick and tired of people questioning, well, Ole Miss, they have the resources. They'll pay the NIL bill. It's LSU, damn it. When LSU comes calling, you yell, go Tigers. And you fake an accent if you have to. That's what I've learned.
Yeah. If someone leaving the Notre Dame coaching job was justified in taking the LSU job, yeah, going from Ole Miss to LSU makes even more sense. Because Notre Dame's a fantastic job. You might be referring to the Notre Dame job in the same realm as the LSU job.
Yes.
And I truly do believe that they are on level playing fields. Ole Miss, LSU, no, that's not the case.
It's not the case. Like, so if we could all start from the starting point of agreeing that LSU greater than Ole Miss, we start there. And if we can't get to that kind of common ground, then again, you might just be an Ole Miss fan or an LSU / Lane Kiffin hater. If you can't understand how LSU is a more ripe breeding ground for college football success than Ole Miss, then I don't want to have this conversation with you. Moving forward. Secondarily, CCAT, did Lane Kiffin set the college football schedule? Did he set the dates in which you have to be able to take a new job because of early signing day and because of the transfer portal? Like, is he the one that was the operator of all of this?
No.
So what the hell are we doing getting on our high horse, acting as if this dude did something that is absolutely despicable, leaving those kids in the dirt, not caring about student athletes, spitting on a program? What are you talking about? He just delivered 6 of the best years any of those Ole Miss football fans are going to witness. He just delivered the Ole Miss Rebels to the CFP playoffs. He did something that not only Ed Ogeron used to coach Ole Miss. In his 3 years there, I don't even think he got a winning season. And, of course, he goes on to win a national title at LSU. You think Lane Kiffin ain't looking at that and saying, well, damn, if Eddie O could barely get to a bowl game at Ole Miss and I'm able to get to the playoff, imagine the things I can do with the resources out there in Baton Rouge. How are we at all? Like, what is the point? What's the biggest point people are making anti-Lane Kiffin right now?
People are looking at his track record and how it's been messy exits. That's kind of the common denominator with Lane Kiffin, and he does stir it up. He doesn't shy away from talking openly about situations, talking crap, and people hold on to those feelings because they might spite their team and then finally have a chance when there's a big group of people that also dislike Lane Kiffin right now intensely, and you saw that on the tarmac in Oxford, Mississippi.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, finally, another chance to kick on Lane Kiffin, some more dirt in his name.
And it's like, cool, right? You still were never able to get over your ex. Cool. Lane Kiffin still lives somewhere deep in your heart, and it impacts you negatively when you see him do well. But that's what we can't escape from. The dude is doing absolutely well. He is the single best thing that we have going in college football right now. Lane Kiffin is.
You said he's the face of the SEC.
He's the face of the SEC. He's the face of college football.
I think that's undoubtedly true right now. Yeah.
Yes, Lane Kiffin at 50 years old has done it. He has become the face of college football without even winning a single national championship. And it's not just because of his personality. It's also because of the wins that he brings with it. He's won 55 wins in 6 seasons at Ole Miss. Like, that's what he brought. And it's not like your grandma's SEC. We're talking about an SEC that also added in Texas and Oklahoma and Texas A&M. Like an increasingly competitive SEC. He took Ole Miss and made them, in multiple years, contenders for that conference and then a playoff team. He undoubtedly is the most successful coach, especially given the amount of time he's been there in the history of that program. I know they got some claimed national titles in the 60s, but they don't have any real ones. They don't. So the Ole Miss fans that are going to feel a bit of disgust for Lane Kiffin leaving, I will at least give you that. I'll give you room to breathe. College football, just like many things in life, are very emotional. You are tied to these things. You wanted Lane Kiffin to be your head coach forever and ever and ever. Yeah, you had podcasters calling Lane out of his name, specifically because it feels like they know that what they had was such a great thing. But on the other side of that is the actual decision that Lane Kiffin made, and I see absolutely nothing wrong with it. I've seen messier exits done in poorer ways for people that don't have half as much credibility to do so. Look at how Jimmy Butler left the Miami Heat, quitting on the team midseason, saying a lot of things in the media that were either like coded / sometimes just outright negative, like I've lost my joy for the game of basketball. And I still found it in my heart as a Heat fan to be like, well, damn it, I know it's the breakup is ugly. The exit is not what you want to see, but wow. 2 finals runs, competing day in and day out, dragging a team that is under at least, they were a competitive basketball team, but damn it, nobody had them making the finals either of the 2 years that they made it in the bubble or in 23. And Jimmy Butler was the main culprit for getting us there. I still found it. I understand. He wanted his money. Jimmy Butler wanted his money. The Miami Heat didn't want to pay him. The breakup became ugly. I get it. And I'm able to cope with that a lot better. And I had emotional heartstrings to this. We have random fans of teams like the UT, teams like Miami Hurricane fans. I have people all over Twitter that have no connection to Kiffin nor Ole Miss who are getting all hot and bothered by this. And I don't understand it, C-Cat. So stop the Lane Kiffin hate.
Yeah, and I thought it was incredible and immediate vindication for those that are happy Lane Kiffin took this promotion, took this job, next step in his career, because the same day in which he is getting booed relentlessly, and we got to listen to these boos.
Yeah, please.
These boos are incredible boos from the Ole Miss
right?
fans. Yes. While he's getting on the plane, while coaches he's taking with him are getting on the plane in Oxford, it's really like a telenovela. What is it? Telenueva. No.
Telenueva.
It's like a
soap opera.
A soap opera. While Lane Kiffin is getting on his plane to take his next step in his career, it sounds like this.
Yeah.
Like a Black Mirror episode.
Yeah.
Like this guy was doing something despicable.
But you know what? That's fine.
So that happens.
That's
While
fine.
that's happening, a little bit past noon on Sunday, later on in the day, a little bit of a different atmosphere where he's met with cheers and love and gracious from LSU fans, which makes sense. Why are they doing that? Oh, he just wrapped up a visit with the #1 overall recruit in next year's recruiting class, Lamar Brown, in LSU. That's why you take the LSU job, because in the first 6 hours of having the job, you're in the room with the #1 recruit in the nation, and he's tweeting out, "Go Tigers."
Yeah. How do we not understand that, good people? How are we not coming to terms with this is a better situation for Lane Kiffin? Hey, guess who else is in a better position now than they were yesterday, or at least before Kiffin arrived? Ole Miss. Ole Miss football, yeah. But however you want to take it, you want to go back to the days of Hugh Freeze? You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you want to do here? He put your program in a better situation as well. It hurts right now. You rip the Band-Aid off, get over it eventually, right? This is football. This isn't. You didn't lose your wife, actually. Oh, but by the way, Marilyn Terp and Sports Center at Night anchor Scott Van Pelt, he had himself a great metaphor, at least he felt, for the Lane Kiffin exodus. Here he is talking about why it was the right decision for Ole Miss to not allow Lane Kiffin to coach the team through the college football playoff. And it got a little personal.
But this is a divorce. And the analogy I'd make is this. If you're leaving me for one of our neighbors who I hate, but you tell me you want to stay through Christmas for the kids, I'm telling you to take your ass on down the road and we'll figure out Christmas with who's here. I appreciate it's a mature way to view it. Maybe I'm being immature, but damn it, I am, and I hold grudges, and there's no way on God's green earth I'd let him coach my team.
Ooh. First of all, we're never going to find the correct common ground when you try to compare college football coaching jobs to marriages, right? Like either way, there's gonna be some inefficiencies here, right? Like, because Lane Kiffin isn't like leaving his wife for the neighbor out of the convenience of it all. Lane Kiffin is taking a job that can make him a martyr in the sport of college football, that can make him an all-time great coach, that can make him all of the things that he's dreamt of being, that can make him all of the things that I'm sure he told his father that he wanted to be in this sport. He's taking that job, and he's only taking it right now in the midst of this season because he was so damn good at his current job that now it looks bad. You know, like, you realize that's what people are criticizing him for. They're criticizing him for doing such a good coaching job at Ole Miss.
Yeah.
If they were a 3-loss team, we wouldn't be hearing any of this consternation. But because they did so well, now he's a traitor.
And to be fair, the whole delay, the wish-wash, wasn't whether or not Lane was going to go or whether or not Lane was going to stay. It was all about whether Lane Kiffin was going to be allowed to coach Ole Miss during the college football playoff and then inevitably leave. Ole Miss put their foot down and said, no, we can't have that happen because of a litany of reasons. So, like, this wasn't holding Ole Miss by a string. No. Lane Kiffin, he wanted to coach the college football playoff. Why wouldn't he?
He tried to do the right thing, quote unquote.
He did. And maybe you can criticize for Lane Kiffin wanting his cake and eating it too. Like wanting all of the pros of taking the LSU job without the cons of leaving the rest of this Ole Miss season on the table. Okay, fair criticism. But who ultimately is losing in this? It's the Ole Miss fans and the Ole Miss players that want Lane Kiffin.
Yes. And then for anybody that's trying to detract from, because I know Lane Kiffin said in his statement, the players even asked for the athletic director to allow me to coach, and they said no. And then there's people that have come out against that and said, that's not true, that's not true. First and foremost, it's like 80 players in that locker room. So for you to say that's not true is disingenuous. Because all it takes for two of them, that's players, that's plural. All it takes is two, and that counts. But keep it G, Cat. We know what Lane Kiffin is like as a coach, as a personality, as a motivator. You think them dudes don't want him to be able to coach him through the playoffs? You think because he's taking another job, they're like, oh, screw him. We're gonna figure it out with the DC, who I don't even know the name of.
No, they probably want their guy who got them to this point as a program and as a team this year.
There was no right way to do this. The point is there was no right way to do this, and people are, because we are simple-minded. I'm not saying this is an issue. You have a lot of things to worry about. You have your home life, you got family life, you got your work. Everybody has so many things on their plate. So it's fun to be simple-minded in things that don't matter as much, like entertainment, like sports.
You jump in and you immediately say, all right, who's in the wrong?
Yeah, that guy sucks. Lane Kiffin, yeah, he sucks. I don't like his face. Cool. But think about it like this. If Lane, who fought tooth and nail to still be able to coach these kids through the college football playoff, if Lane Kiffin could have it another way, and that other way, by like changing the schedule of it all, because he didn't choose the situation, he's a victim of it because of the way that the college football schedules are in 2025. 10, 15 years ago, this wouldn't be an issue. This is an issue because of the state of college football and the transfer portal and early signing period and all of the different things that force you as a head coach to have to take another job before we're 2 days out for early signing day. Like, I think that's another thing that people aren't really realizing or witnessing or caring about, the casual college football fan. In 2 days, players like that kid we talked about, the number one kid in the nation, who plays on the offensive line and the defensive line, like how many athletes do you see that? He literally has an ATH, athlete tag, as a lineman because he's dominant on both sides. That kid is 2 days away from signing his national letter of intent to LSU. It's gonna be hard to get that kid's commitment if you don't have your head coach signed, sealed, delivered. And the contract that LSU paid Lane Kiffin, reportedly 7 years, $91 million, reportedly with a 80%. Oh my, this can't be true. The school would still owe him 80% of his remaining salary. He is guaranteed 80% of that off the rip. And they're paying his buyout. There are zero cons to Lane Kiffin taking his job outside of the fact that he can't coach his team through the college football playoff, and that was the only thing he was trying to get done before he signed his name on the dotted line. And now he's turned into the villain of the sport when, to be honest with you, Cat, I don't know a man. I couldn't think of one singular being who wouldn't do what Lane Kiffin just did. Like, he's not from Oxford.
Right.
You lost him the same way you got him. If you want to make all these analogies,
yeah,
I'm disgusted.
And Theo, you've lived here a little bit longer than I have. I don't think FAU fans hold a grudge against Lane Kiffin because it's a little bit more obvious going from Group of Five, Power Four. So, like, when a coach does well at a smaller school, the natural order of things is for them to move on to a bigger school. So that line's not blurred as much as it is one SEC school that has less money and less of a talent pool in their state than going to another SEC school that has a lot more talent pool, a lot more demand and domination in terms of that talent pool and the money, by the way, attached to that school.
Yeah, they've got
that
it all.
is the case, Ole Miss to LSU, Whereas FAU to Ole Miss isn't really everyone understands that. He was going to leave.
Yes. And that's the issue is Lane did so – maybe this is another testament to how talented this dude is. He did so well at Ole Miss, he actually has people thinking it's apples to apples. Like there's people like, well, why would you leave Ole Miss?
Exactly.
Well, do we not remember what Ole Miss was before he got there? Now imagine what he could do to LSU. And that's my point in all of this. He had to take that job. His mentors, Pete Carroll, Nick Saban, they told him to take that job. He said it's what his father, they told him that's what his father would have wanted for him, who was also a legendary college football coach. You got to take that job. And I'm not going to sit here and I can't criminalize somebody ascending in their profession. Just can't do it.
Now, Ole Miss made the decision of not letting him coach the team.
Yes.
Do you think that was the right decision?
I think that was the only decision. I think that if you Lane made a good point about it in the interview he did with Marty Smith, which, by the way, incredible get by ESPN's Marty to get behind the fire truck or whatever kind of bobbing and weaving he had to do to get over there and get the exclusive. Incredible get. But what Lane said resonated with me. The athletic director of Ole Miss had to make that decision because he has to be the one that wakes up and goes to sleep in Oxford, Mississippi for the next so odd years.
Yeah, he's got to take care of their own.
Yeah, so I guarantee it's not the decision he wanted to make. If they want a chance to win the national championship, which they might have a chance to do, Dave makes a great comment in the YouTube chat. I'm looking forward to Ole Miss being left out of the playoff based on the precedent set in the FSU snubbing of 2023. There's still a chance that they get dropped out of the playoff race because if a quarterback being replaced makes you a less efficient team, a coach would probably do it even more so.
I'm fascinated to having that conversation because I disagree. I disagree in the situation there.
Telenovela, by the way.
Telenovela.
Thank you, Randy. But you disagree. What do you disagree with there? You disagree with you think a quarterback's more important than a coach?
Maybe that's one option I could go with. I think you can argue that. But the option I am going to go with is that we saw Florida State without their quarterback.
Yeah, and it was bad.
We didn't see yet Ole Miss without their head coach.
Oh, yeah, we did. Want me to go back to the
just go back 7 years ago. Good point. No, but if Ole Miss played the Egg Bowl and lost to Mississippi State 34-7.
Without Lane Kiffin.
Then it's like, holy crap.
Yeah, but he coached the Egg Bowl.
Exactly. And Florida State did win their game.
Yeah, it was ugly.
It was ugly, but we don't have the example of Ole Miss without Lane Kiffin and the regime of which he took with him to LSU.
If you want an example as to why a head coach is more important than a quarterback in football, look no further than the first place NFC team, the Chicago Bears.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm a believer. Here's the thing. 2 weeks ago, I might have been, I was kind of 50-50. After watching the Jaguars and the Bears this year, after watching the Vikings this year who have the coach.
Now,
that's the other side of it. You got to have at least competent.
This is dumb C-Cat talking here.
Yeah, of course.
Not knowing all of the ins and outs of college athletics. I wonder if there was a possibility to write an agreement to allow Lane Kiffin to coach the rest of this playoff run with the written agreement from that locker room saying they cannot follow him to LSU.
Oh.
Now I think that'd be pretty ethical. I think that would be amicable.
Here's what
I think that would be doing LSU a little bit wrong, but I think that's the price that comes with getting the prize pig of the coaching class.
Yes. And what I will say is, C-Cat, I do think that this issue, as grand as it has become and as public and national and ugly as it become, I've seen reports of him getting his clothes left outside, which we have not.
I don't know if that's real.
Confirmed or not.
It's very funny if it is.
There is a tweet from the same reporter that called him a garden tool. There is a tweet from him that shows a clothing rack full of suit jackets outside, and he says that he reports that that's Ole Miss.
Like dumping his stuff on the curb.
Leaving his clothes out. That is ridiculous. We got the booze. There was an air traffic control. See, there's the issue with AI. This is why I hate AI.
You don't know if it's real.
We got to stop AI. We can't even enjoy things anymore because you don't even – I don't believe anything until I get like 3 verifications on it. I got to see it reported from 8 different – now everybody's a journalist.
This Marty Smith interview looks like it could be digitally creative, honestly. Like, wait a second. Did his arm just have 4 fingers? What's going on?
Yeah, that's true. That's the issue. I'm done. I am done with AI. I'm still going to use it because you got to kind of have to in good, GKB, the GKB way. But I am sick of AI because you can't enjoy anything anymore without having to ask yourself, wait a second, is it real?
It's like a big explosive play in football where you're waiting for the flag emblem to show up on the scoreboard. It's like, wait a second. Did they just return that kick for a touchdown? There's got to be a block in the back somewhere.
Last night, Deebo Samuel touchdown. Oh, he tied it up. Holding. So yeah, no, I will say, man, this is
Yeah, I don't know if that could have been written in the clause that, okay, Lane, you can be here for these next 3 to 4 weeks, but
you can't take anybody with you.
Exactly.
He would sign up for that
because that's the danger of letting him play is allowing him to do
like
a 3-week.
Recruiting the kids.
Exactly.
Why
would he not want to set him up for success next year at his new school? In doing so, would be setting up the players that he's taking with them as well.
I will pose you a question and try and answer it in good faith. If you are Ole Miss, and again, you can't promise these things to happen, but let's just lay it out this way. And Lane Kiffin leads you through, he accepts the LSU job. So this is similar to what you can do in CFB 26. I'm in a lot of online dining, or not a lot, I'm in one, but it's been going. In CFB 26, the video game for college football, you can accept the job and still coach your current team through the playoffs because that's kind of how you should have it set up in some way. Here's the question. Would you sign up for it if you're Ole Miss if you can guarantee that Lane Kiffin coaches you to a national championship, but he then also can take whatever players and coaches away that he wants? So you get a national title in Oxford, a real one. You don't have any. But he goes, and whoever wants to leave with him goes as well, and you got to start from scratch next year. Do you take that deal?
I think you're signing up for 1 or 2 playoff wins. I think there's a cap on what Ole Miss can do in 2025.
That's true.
So you're not like you're a 1 or 2
That's
seed.
fair. So I can't. So I'm not. So national championship is too far. If it was national title, do they sign up for it though?
Yes,
I think so as well.
You sell the next 10 years of your football program for a national title if you're Ole Miss.
If you're Ole Miss, you might sell 30.
Right, exactly. Maybe different programs wouldn't make that deal. Ohio State would not take a national title in the hand for sacrificing 5 years in the future. They wouldn't do that. They'll take their chances. Ole Miss is at the level of a program. You take the bird in the hand.
Yeah.
Almost undoubtedly.
So 2 playoff wins. If I can guarantee you Lane Kiffin leads you to 2 playoff wins, you get bounced in the semifinal, and then you shake hands. Whoever wants to, I'm not saying they have to go. Whoever wants to go with them goes. Whoever wants to stay, stays. It's not a bad deal.
I don't think that's enough. I think it would have to be a national championship berth, and then we're having the conversation.
Okay.
Which, like, we can't make those
deal.
prognostications.
Deal.
Okay. Nice. Gotcha.
Maybe that's how you write the agreement. If you win a national title.
Okay. You know what?
If you win a national title, then you can take whoever you want. If you don't,
that's the clause.
That's
hey,
the
Lane,
clause.
you can't take anybody with you unless you win a national championship. Do you think Lane takes that deal?
Yes.
I think he's got confidence in his guys. I think his guys have confidence in themselves.
Dog, if you're Lane, you have to take that deal. If you're Lane and you're the competitor you are,
I mean, that's only a win-win for him.
Yes.
Like, that really, like,
you don't lose.
Oh, so I get what I was fighting for?
Perfect. And if it doesn't work out, I just go to LSU.
But I guess now he can just recruit his LSU guys.
Yeah,
he has their phone numbers.
It's a lot easier now.
Yeah.
I do wonder how you handle. So that's why I'm like, how do you handle the transition then? Because do you get a proxy to go and handle the LSU stuff while you focus on the playoff? You know, there's a lot of conflicting interest.
And also, Lane has been there for long enough to where he doesn't now need to text these guys. They know Lane Kiffin.
They know who Lane is.
They know what it's like to play for Lane Kiffin. And now they know Lane Kiffin with a lot more resources and reason to believe that Lane Kiffin at LSU can deliver them an NFL career and hardware while they're in college.
I hope he takes everything that from that program that he wants, including his clothes, back. I'm just gonna put it out there. But let me know if you still have hate in your heart for Lane Kiffin. Tell me why. I'm open. I'm all ears. I don't understand it. It's unless you are an Ole Miss alum. Because I don't even think, like, are there any Ole Miss fans that aren't alum?
Good point.
Unless you have a degree from Ole Miss.
They don't have the Alabama thing.
No.
Where that whole state will root for one side or the other, whether or not they went to school there. I think the Ole Miss fans are all Ole Miss alum.
They're Ole Miss